stream up. Get the chat room going. Alright, so if any of you guys have any specific questions you want to work on, we can go ahead and do so. Otherwise, I'll just kind of be going in order of the questions already on the review. But I will have the chat box out if any of you wish to ask for any questions. Oh, there we go. We got the first one, McCune. Convert your length of DFE from degrees to radians. We haven't talked about radians. So McCune, we haven't talked about units for radians because the formula that I've used allows you to convert between the two. What we do for DFE is you're going to find this entire angle measure, which is going to be the 180 here plus the 30. So that's where our little formula comes into play. So 180 plus 30, that's, 21. So 210 over 360 times 2 pi r, and our radius in this case is 4. So if we use some arithmetic here, 21 over 36, because I can cross out the zeros. I have two numbers that are divisible by 3. So if I reduce this by 3, I get 7. And then that gives me 12. Now over here, this part simplifies into 8 pi. So then from here, what you're going to do is you can actually reduce the 8 pi with the 12 because they're both even, and 4 goes into both. So we can actually divide them both by 4. So then I have 7 times 2, which is 14 pi. And then on the other side here, I have my 3. So your answer for this one is going to be 14 pi over 3, or 14/3 pi. So you don't need to actually convert to radians because the formula kind of does it already for you. If you look at this formula anywhere else, you will see that they tell you it's r theta, and theta is equivalent to the angle in radians, but this formula simplifies it all, so you don't have to worry about that. Start from the beginning. Can't go wrong with that. Number 1. Sweet. We know that BE is 16. AB is 15. And our job is to find OA. So let's call that X. Well, we have our radius here. It's going to be 8. So we're going to say 8 squared plus 15 squared equals x squared. Now you may or may not recognize this, but this actually is a Pythagorean triple. But let's just show the work anyways. Let's see here. 200. Wow, 289. And so when you take the square root of both sides, you'll get x equals 17. Number 2, if BE is 18, the measure of angle A is 45 degrees, find OA. Now, as deceiving as this image might be, we are actually dealing with a special right triangle. If we have a right angle and 45 degrees, then we automatically know the last angle is also 45. So 45, 45, 90. Well, I need at least one of the side lengths if I want to find AO, which is going to represent my hypotenuse here. Our hypotenuse of 18 makes that side length here a 9. Now technically these two are congruent, so if you really wanted to, you could do the Pythagorean Theorem, or you can use the relationship that your hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. So then your hypotenuse equals 9 rad 2. Therefore, x equals 9 rad 2. All right, trying to get this out of the way. There we go. Okay, now let's take a look at number 3. We wish to find the measure of FD. So notice that this arc symbol up here, you're not going to use the Unit 10 theorems paper on your test, Karina. You're going to use that to help you study, because this one only really has 5 formulas. The other things are all properties, so you should be able to have those all down. Plus, we're going to kind of go over them as we do these. So again, the arc symbol here means I'm talking about the arc, not the distance between FD. So I'm looking for this. Now BOF, notice it says the angle here. So since it says BOF, I'm looking at this angle here. And that's our 60 degrees. Yeah, let's write it in blue. It'll be nicer. There we go. Now, if this is 60 degrees, and we know, yeah, I mean, I didn't put the marking and I realized I should have, but there should have technically been a right angle here in order for us to assume that this would also be 60 degrees. So since that is our central angle, that allows us to put the 60 on the arc. This 60 is also on the arc. So the measure of arc FD is equal to 120 degrees. Now number 4, I'm giving you BOC. And you play baseball, you know that's a balk. Meant to just do that. There's angle BOC, that's our 60. We know that BC is 7 rad 3. Well, I want to find OC now. Well, again, just from before, if we remember that this line is tangent, that's going to form a right angle here, which means that your last angle here is 30. So again, we have a special right triangle. Well, the 60 degrees is pointing at the 7 rad 3, which makes this a long leg. Therefore, the 30 degrees is going to point us to our short leg. Well, the short leg times rad 3 is the long leg. So what we'll do then is we'll say that that short leg, let's call it, let's call it x. X rad 3 equals 7 rad 3. Well, the only thing x can be at this case is 7. But that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for OC, which is my hypotenuse here. That's what I'm really looking for. So let's call that y. Again, if we remember back from the beginning of the semester, the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short leg. So y is going to equal 2 times 7. And there you go. Y equals 14. Boom. All right. Let's go on to number 5. The measure of DEF. Well, let's see here. DEF is 250. I want to find the measure of BD. Well, BD is only this section, but if you remember from the notes, we talked about what happens when you see a right angle here. This is going to do a couple things for us. This will tell us that, hey, these two parts of the chords are congruent. But more importantly for this problem, they're telling us that these two are congruent. Well, if the entire circle is 360 degrees, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take 360 minus 250 in order to find this arc right here. So what is that, 110? 110 degrees? But since we said those two halves were congruent, we're going to take 110, split it in half, to get our 55 degrees. So that'll be the measure of BD. Boom. Number 6, we have the measure of BF, aka my best friend, which is 80. We want to find the measure of angle BEF. So let's see here, BEF. I don't know about you guys, but this is looking an awful lot like ice cream right here. I think this is the ice cream and we're looking into the cone. So the measure of angle BEF is simply going to be 1/2 the measure of that arc, which is going to be 80. So therefore we have 40 degrees. Sweet. I am curious because, that's weird. I'm trying to figure out the YouTube thing, because it tells me there are 9 people watching, but when I check the participants in the chat, it only shows me. This thing is weird. Oh well. Let's move on. So then on the next page, number 7, is this the study guide? Yes, Matthew, this is the Unit 10 study guide. So angle FDE is 70 degrees. I want to find the measure of arc FE. So FE, again, we have another ice cream situation. I'm looking at the arc, so that means the measure of arc FE is going to be double the inscribed angle of 70 degrees. So therefore that arc's measure is 140 degrees. Number 8, BE is 26. Ooh, we got a lot of stuff here. So let's see here. BE, 26. I can write. DF is 24. Can you do number 16 and 17, please? Did I seriously say Matthew? I'm sorry, Mateo. I really am sorry. Yes, Riley, we can do 16 and 17 once I finish number 8. Sorry, Mateo. Kids these days. I want to find OX. I'm going to find me an ox, which is right here. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff going on here, but let's break it down here. This length here is my radius, which is going to be half of the 26. And then that 24 is half of the chord. So I know that that's going to be 12. Now, taking all of this out of the picture, and yes, I'll use the Galaxy pen just for you children, easily amused. Since I'm trying to find OX, I'm going to want to set up my triangle here. Well, OX represents this bottom side here, so let's call that X. The 12, which we said was over here, can be written there. So now that begs the question, what is this side here? Well, we do have a radius going from here to here, and since we said the radius was 13, we're going to go ahead and plant that 13 right there. Formulas from tenses from numbers 23. Alright, I'll get to that one too, Karina. So, right here, x squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. Pythagorean triple. You can do the work if you need to, but x is going to equal 5. So therefore, x equals 5. Now, Riley, I'm going to come back to your question. I'm going to answer Karina's in a bit right now. Formula 10.5 from 10.6, 22 and 23. Okay, so for 22 and 23, because it says find the length of the arc, the moment you see length, you should be thinking of that formula. That's going to be the x over 360 times 2 pi r. That's why we know to use this when you see the length. If it ever says find the measure, kind of like here where it says a measure, then you're not going to be using that formula. You're just going to be using your degrees. So you're going to be doing the same stuff we've been kind of doing all the way around. All right, so Riley, your question was on 16 and 17. Now, before I can get to those, I should probably do 10 through 15 only because we might need those answers in there. And yes, it does look like it might be scary, but I promise you guys that if you break this down one piece at a time, everything will be fine. Okay, so everything that I've given you in the directions should already be in the drawing. So the measure of AE, which is this measure here, comes from the fact that, you're welcome, this entire thing forms a half circle. So that means that arc AE plus 90 degrees plus 20 equals 180. So then that's going to give us 70 degrees. I'm going to run out of room if I don't do this. For the measure of DE, we're going to do the exact same thing, just in the opposite direction. Right, there's our half circle. So then we know that the measure of ED plus the 100 degrees is 180. So therefore my measure, oh, I already said I wasn't going to do that. That's going to be 80 degrees. let's see here. Number 12, I'm finding angle 1. Well, angle 1 is an outside angle. So that means I'm going to be doing my outside arc minus the inside arc, which we actually have here, divided by 2 equals angle 1. So let's see here. That's going to be 100 plus 90, that's 190, plus 20, that's 210. So that'll be 210 minus the inside arc of 70 plus 80, which is 150, divided by 2. So then let's see here. 18, 21, so 60 over 2, which is going to give us 30 degrees. All right, we're making progress. The measure of angle 2 is this inside angle over here. I'm going to erase that orange arc. This angle right here is angle 2. Well, it is a central angle, so it should be equivalent to the arc it's looking at, in which case that's going to be 70 degrees. Angle 3, which is over here, I'm going to erase that orange again. Angle 3 is right here. It's formed by these two chords. So there's my ice cream cone. I'm looking at the ice cream, which is the combined yellow and green highlighter. So that's going to be 1/2 of 70 plus 80. So that'll give us 75 degrees. All right, we're making some progress here. Angle 4 is again an outside angle. So angle 4 is formed from this. So our outside arc is the yellow, our inside arc is the blue. So outside minus inside divided by 2. So then angle 4 equals 25 degrees. I realized I never wrote in angle 3's measurement, 75. And then what did we say that was? 25. All right. Now, the actual question that Riley had, 16 and 17. Angle 5. Let's see here. Angle 5. Ooh, okay, Riley, you asked a great question. So angle 5, you'll notice, is formed by this arc and this tangent line. So that means angle 5 is this angle here. And that arc that it's looking at, I'm going to erase these highlighted colors. That arc is this arc right here. That is our ice cream inside this weird cone. We could say it's a crepe, but I don't want to make you guys any more hungry. So angle 5 is going to equal half of that entire green arc. So 80 plus 70 plus 90 is 240. So angle 5 is going to equal 1/2 of 240 degrees. And for the other critters that are probably going to come in and watch this later, we should show our work. 1/2 of 70 plus 80 plus 90. Let's say 80, 70, 90. So this is a nice solid 120 degrees. Now angle 6 Ooh, that's a good one. So angle 6, Riley, again, without getting too overboard. Angle 6 is formed by this chord intersecting this chord. So I kind of made a joke the other day, not with you guys unfortunately, but about how, at least with the other examples, those kind of look like weird fishes. You got the smile there, blah blah blah, whatever. So here's the formula we're going to use. We're going to say this plus this divided by 2 equals angle 6. 20 and 80. And so there you have it, Riley. That is our solution for finding angles 16 and 17. Whew, that's a lot of work, guys, but we did it. And actually, yeah, we're almost halfway done. Woo. Not too bad, though. So if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and ask. But I'm going to pick back up from number 9 and then move on. I'm not tired at all, guys. Not at all. Okay. So number 9, we got to find all those angles. The easiest one we could probably find is W, because our beautiful corollary states that opposite angles inside of a quadrilateral are supplementary. So that means W plus 70 adds up to 180. So W is going to equal 110. Boom, done with that one. Angle Y might be our second easiest one to find, because Y is formed by this tangent and that chord. So this angle here is staring right out at the 80, and that is the ice cream inside of your cone. So therefore, angle Y is going to equal 1/2 of 80. Boom, 2 down, 2 more to go. Now, it would probably be best if we solve for angle X next. Now, for angle X, I need to remember that it is an arc that's only between these two. So in order for me to find it, I need to try to create an ice cream cone with it. Well, there's only really one that I can use, and that goes from here to here. So that means I need to extend the ice cream all the way out here. Boom. So what we're going to say then, since we already solved for W, we said that that was 110. We're going to say that 110 equals 1/2 of X plus 120. Now, using your awesome math magic skills, boom, X plus 120 equals 220. So therefore, X equals 100. Now, solving for angle Z, got to remember that the entire circle adds up to 360. So I need to find this arc measure first here before I can continue on. So what we will say, well, let me cheat a little and kind of move this bit out of the way. Cool. So for angle Z, I need to first find the pink arc. So 100 plus 120 plus 80, so that'll give us 300. So 360 minus 300 gives us 60 degrees. Since angle Z is that inscribed angle there, Z is going to equal 1/2 of 60, which is a nice 30 degrees. Now, technically, there is another way to solve this. I'll leave that to you to show me. That'll be a challenge question for y'all. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and move on to number 13. So GM, General Motors, has a 5-year stock lease. Mary Jane Watson has had 8 dates with Peter Parker. Full Metal Jacket. Okay, clearly I'm stretching this, guys. Come on, I'm trying here. FM is 3. And then we need to find MH. Let's call that X. So what we're going to do is part times part. Oh, what the heck? No. Let's fix that. So part times part equals part times part. Now, is it entirely possible that I could have you leave your answer like this? Of course, because I'm Mr. T. No, because in Algebra 2, you're probably going to be doing that a lot as well. So I'm just getting you ready. You know, I'm trying to be a good teacher here. Not always successful, but I'm trying. So you can leave your answer like that. All right. LJ, LeBron James. Let's see here. That is a unit of 2. What the heck? And then JG is 7. Why didn't I do that? What the heck is wrong with you, Miguel? Mr. T. There we go. 7. 2. Cool. I'm asking you to find LF. Let's find La France. Well, LF is a tangent. If we recall what we're supposed to do, we're going to say tangent squared equals the outside times the whole. We're going to use this relationship here. So x squared equals the outside of 2 and the whole length of 9. Well, I'm going to take that square root and I'm going to break it down nicely. If you remembered, we already said that 18 was 9 times 2. Square root of 9 times 2. But wait, what is the square root of 9? And I just realized I kept writing that. Cool. Well, the square root of 9 is 3. Can't do anything with the 2. Leave it be. That's a square. Not a square. The kid's a square. All right. Number 20. Again, we've got LJ with a 6. We got JG with an 8. And LI with a 7. Don't you go lying to me. Bad joke, I know. I want to find IH. We call that X. So again, this is literally screaming to us outside times whole equals outside times whole. So here we go. My whole length is 14. My whole length here is 7 plus x. Or you could say x plus 7. Order doesn't matter, it's addition. So we're going to say 6 times 14. 7 times 7 plus x. Let's see here. 84. Yeah, 84 equals 49 plus 7x. Please don't forget to distribute this 7. I know how much a lot of you guys love Halloween. Give candy, okay? and do it right. So we're going to go ahead and subtract that 49. Boom. So 7x equals 35. Oh, hey, look at that. Who's texting me? Sweet. I just made some money, guys. What up? Just kidding. I don't make enough money. Okay, so let's go ahead and do number 21. And then we'll have only like 5 left. 5 or 6 left. Yay! I'm gonna double check something real quick. Only 4 people watching now? Oh man, I'm not popular anymore. That's okay, it's not a big deal. I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it for my children. Anyways, I'm done being weird. 21, find the missing angles. Alright, I'm just gonna kind of go through this. I won't fill in the answers yet. So let's see here. Angle 1 is an inscribed angle. So angle 1 is going to equal 1/2 of 50. Alright. Angle 2 is an outside angle. So that means I'm going to be working with this outside arc and this inside arc. Let me actually go ahead and move that. So angle 2 equals 1/2 of 140 minus 50. So we get a nice solid 45 degrees. Can I please do 24 and 25? Yes, I will finish that as soon as I finish up 21. Awesome, Riley. So, angle 2, knocked out of the park. We're going to find angle 3, which, I mean, I'm lucky because I get to erase these highlights whenever. But, you know, you guys should be able to kind of visually see, okay, this is where my angle's formed. And then here's my intercepted arc. So we're going to say that angle 3 equals 1/2 of that arc. Now the good question is, can I find that other missing part up there? I need to find this first. And the answer is yes, I can, and here's why. We got some math on our side. This entire thing right here forms a half circle because it goes through the diameter right there. So 50 plus 90 is 140. 140 taken away from 180 makes this 40 degrees. So again, going back to this, angle 3 equals 1/2 of the 40 plus 90. So what is that? 12, 65? Yeah, 65 degrees. Angle 4. And then angle 5. Woo. So angle 4 is formed from the intersection of these two chords. That means I'm going to work with this arc here and this arc here. I'm going to show you guys the fish I was talking about. Got the eyes right here, smile right there, got its fins. I know, kind of weird. I don't care what you think. Cool. So, let's see here. Angle 4 is going to equal 1/2 of 140 plus 90. This is the one where we add them together. So that's 115. All right, almost there. Woo. And I'm always running out of room. I never have enough room on these. That's okay. Angle 5 is formed from the intersection of this and this. Now, since angle 5 is in that corner and it's right in the middle, I don't really need to do the outside minus the inside divided by 2. I just need to figure out, hey, what is the measure of that arc? Well, again, going back to basic facts, this entire thing is a half circle. So that angle should be 40 degrees. 180 minus the 40 here. So therefore, angle 5 is 40 degrees. Now, if you were feeling so inclined to do that theorem, you could do 40 plus 40 divided by 2, but you're still going to get 40. So nothing special happens there. Yay! We're done for this one. I'm going to fill in my answers, because why not? Okay, Riley, you had a question on 24 and 25. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's see here. AC is 28. And ED is 9. I can write it there. We need to find the measure of BCD. So we need to find the measure of this arc. Alright. She doesn't need 25 anymore. Okay, that's fine. Alright. So right here, this is similar to what you did on your quiz. You're supposed to find this central angle first. But in order to find that central angle, you had to find the measure of 1/2 of that angle, which is right here. So I'm going to call that x degrees, because what's going to happen is that angle is going to point to its respective side on the arc. Well, the only thing I know for sure is this 9 here. But wait, the diameter is 28. So that means my radius is 14. Well, if that radius is 14, that means this is 14 here, as well as this side here. Alright, so standing at that corner with our little stick figure, I have the opposite side. Come on, why does it do that? And I have the hypotenuse. So we have the opposite and the hypotenuse. You're thinking SOHCAHTOA. That's going to give us sine. So we are going to go ahead and say sine of x, since we don't know the angle, equals 9/14. Well, last I checked, if I wanted to get x by itself, I used the inverse sign. And that gets me the 9/14. Oh man, I've hit a standstill. I can't do this all in my head anymore. I'm not that good. I can approximate that, but I'm not that good. That's going to be, let's see here. 1/2 is 30 degrees, so that's going to be, close to, and I haven't typed anything in yet, it's going to be close to 40 some odd degrees. Inverse sine. And also make sure your calculator is in degrees mode. Make sure that, otherwise you're going to get a weird answer. You're going to be like, what the heck, Mr. T? Woo! Woo-hoo! Yeah, it's 40 degrees. Riley, my girl. Cool. So I got 40, but wait a second. That was the measure of part of your angle. Also, for the record, it's 40.00, so I don't think the rounding is going to affect us here. But I need to double my angle. Because remember, we were trying to find that entire angle, not just the 1/2 of it. So then the measure of BCD is going to be 80 degrees. Cool. So hopefully that was of some help to you, Riley. I'm sure it was. But again, just a reminder to make sure you draw your triangle, because I know you guys know how to do your trig, you know, your beautiful SOHCAHTOAs. All right. Sorry about that. Hopefully Sarah's not online to insult my yawn and say I caused a hurricane in her room. Whatever. The length of DE. So really quick here on this one. DE, whenever it's 2 letters, you always do the shortest distance on the arc. That makes this 150 degrees. So we're going to plug 150 in for the x. So 150 over 360 times 2 pi, and our radius was 4. So let's see here. I'm going to reduce this using some algebra. Cross out the zeros. 15 and 36 are both divisible by 3. So now I have 5 over 12 times 8 pi. I can again reduce the 8 and the 12, which will give me a 2 and a 3 because I divided them both by 4. So now multiplying these across, I get 10 pi over 3. Alright, so 10 pi over 3. Or you can just say 10/3 pi. Either one, they're equivalent. Just don't put the pi down below. Then we have a real problem. Alrighty. We're almost done, guys. How long have I been doing this? It's probably been at least an hour. I'm so tired. Now we're just about to hit an hour. According to this, we've been going for... Actually, no, it's not telling me how long it's going for. Never mind. Alright. Also, guys, I got a thumbs up. Yay! Did I leave anything off? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. So let's see here. 25. I wish to find the value of x. I know that this arc is 134. That means this arc is going to be 360 minus 134. Let's see, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6, 226. So x is going to equal 226 minus 134 divided by 2. So that's 1, no. Why is my head hurting? That's a 2. 13 to 22. That's a 92 over 2. So then half of 92 is 46. Why did I write it so weird? It's because I am weird. That's okay. You all already knew that. There we go. 26. Ooh, hey, check that out. Outside minus inside divided by 2 equals that. Sweet. So as you all know, the magical rule of thumb to get rid of those pesky fractions, at least for these ones. So then x is going to equal, gotta show my work for all the other little critters out there, x is going to equal 82 degrees. Sweet. 27, the infamous, the one and only. Your guys' favorite. Yeah. All right. AC, CE, GE, and AG are all tangents. No, they're not British people that have gone to the beach. Okay, not that joke again. AC is 18. So I know this here is 18. GE is 22. And DE is 14. And CD is 9. We need to find the perimeter of this quadrilateral. Well, we got to go back to our theorem about the congruent tangent lines. These two are congruent. These two are congruent. These two are congruent. And lastly, these two are congruent. So if this length is 9 here, that means this length is also 9 here. Now it so happens that if I take 9 away from 18, I also get 9. But the key phrase is it so happens. It's not necessarily the case that both sides are equal. You still have to go through the work and show, hey, this is how I get around. Okay? Okay, that came out wrong. Sorry. So 22 minus the 14 here is going to give us an 8 for that side, which marks this as also 8. So in terms of your perimeter, we're going to need that length of 17. We're going to need that length of 23. And we're just going to add up all the outside parts. Why can't I? I can math. This one here, this one here, this one here, and here. So the perimeter is going to equal 18 plus 17 plus 22s plus 23s. Let's see here, that's 45. Eight and 7 is 15, so that's 35. So 35 plus 45. Yeah, guys, I'm really tired. 80. So my perimeter is 80. Let's see here. Did I give you units? No. So what are we going to write? We're going to write 80 units. Okay. Now, that officially finishes the entire review. If you guys were following along with me, which the few of you did, you'll notice that took us about an hour with me kind of explaining the stuff and going through it. So if there are certain of these problems that you're still struggling with, don't hesitate to use the practice packet I gave you too. Each one of those problems should have a practice section in there, and the directions should all be correlated the same. I did use a different program to come up with those, but for the most part, they are all the same. Again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to bug me tomorrow and or Wednesday morning or any point during Wednesday. I got your backs, okay? Hope you all have a good evening. I'm going to go and sleep because I'm just really tired. I'm like losing all my sleep. All right, have a good night, y'all. Take care.